Alright, well, I'm coming to you now with a little bit of breaking news, something we've been waiting a long time for. And of course, I'm talking about the Standard Range Model Y, which is coming out of Giga Austin. Now, just this last week, there was a huge party at Giga Austin. I wish I could have been there, but unfortunately, I had other plans that prevented me from going. But we did get a lot of really awesome images from a number of people, including what was confirmed at that time to be that Standard Range Model Y. Now, if you remember, about a month ago, we were able to see some new information from the EPA's website that shows this new mystery model. This mystery Model Y was just listed as a Model Y all-wheel drive. So the assumption was it was going to be a standard range Model Y and it was going to have all-wheel drive, which is very different from the standard ranges that we've been used to in the past. Historically, standard range has come with rear-wheel drive only, but it seems like Tesla has come up with a new model altogether. So this Model Y will be all-wheel drive and it'll have about 279 miles of range per the EPA's website. So with the Cyber Rodeo that did happen just last week, we got our first glimpses of what was very clearly a standard range all-wheel drive Model Y. So the cars being built at Giga Austin right now are standard range all-wheel drive Model Ys. So with that, that means there's going to be a brand new model that's going to launch on the website. So for those of you who are awaiting delivery of a long-range all-wheel drive Model Y, you are not going to be getting that car from Giga Austin, at least in the foreseeable future. It seems like all cars will be this new version Model Y, a standard range all-wheel drive. So there's good news and bad news about this. First of all, the good news is you'll be able to, at some point here in the coming weeks, be able to order that car specifically. Now, we heard originally when they built Giga Austin, the idea was that plant was going to be used to fulfill orders in the eastern half of the country. That doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, at least in the short term, and it's not really a surprise because as they start to ramp up production at Giga Austin, this gives them the opportunity to sell a brand new model while they start to improve and build out the rest of the plant. So whether you're in California or you're in New York, you're going to be able to get the car from Giga Austin by ordering this new model that again should be launching very soon on Tesla's website. Of course, if you're like me, you've been watching Tesla's website like a hawk, trying to see when this car is going to launch, to understand exactly how much it's going to cost. But real quick, before we dive into too many details, I do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Drive Protected Shop. As you know, we have wrapped our Model Y completely in PPF, and we're about to wrap the rest of our Model 3 to have complete coverage. One of the things about Teslas that you want to think about is how much painted surface is exposed to the roads. By having that car protected, you can prevent a lot of damage that can happen to the front of your car. And thanks to Drive Protected Shop, if you use code BTG, you'll save 20%. Prices are in Canadian, so there's another 20% there. So for quite a bit of savings, you can either wrap just the full front of the car or the entire car like we are doing. So thanks again to Drive Protected Shop for sponsoring this video. I do want to take you down memory lane just for a moment because this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting from a pricing perspective. So if you recall, the standard range Model Y, which was rear-wheel drive and had 244 miles of range, launched in January of 21. It launched at $41,990, and at that time that was an $8,000 discount over the long-range all-wheel drive version. It was quite a value of a car. Now in February that price decreased by $2,000, so the long-range all-wheel drive decreased by $1,000, meaning your gap was $9,000. So for a very short period of time, people were able to get a standard range Model Y for $39,990. Now, of course, that did go right back up to $41,990 in a matter of a week or two. So at $41,990, again, an $8,000 discount over the long-range all-wheel drive. Now, we did get some confirmed reports by numerous sources that this standard range all-wheel drive Model Y coming out of Giga Austin is going to be priced at $59,990. Now, at $59,990, that is a very steep price. But you are going to be getting all-wheel drive, not just rear-wheel drive. You're only going to be saving $3,000, which, if I recall correctly, back in the day when there were multiple configurations of the Model 3, it was about $5,000 to go from rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. So that part kind of makes sense. You're going to save about $3,000 of that initial $8,000 price gap from the original rear-wheel drive standard range. Now this car of course is going to come with 279 miles of range, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. It is going to have all-wheel drive, so you're not going to be sacrificing by going with that standard range. The other thing is it's going to have those 4680 cells, which I cannot stress enough how big of a deal that is. We've already heard initial reports from some people about the charging curve, and although we don't have specific details on times and stamps, these battery cells should be able to charge quite impressively. So these are going to change the game. It's almost a question of, would you rather have more initial miles of range, or would you rather have faster charging? So you're giving up about 50 miles of range to get this model versus the long-range all-wheel drive, but you're going to have the 4680 battery cells. Now, we don't know enough about, can we charge these to 100% consistently? How fast will it charge at supercharging? And all those things just yet, but a lot more is going to come out very soon as more people start to take delivery of these. Again, in the next couple of weeks, we anticipate seeing this being available to order. And here's the biggest benefit and why you might want to consider getting it. Right now, it's going to take almost a year to get a Model Y if you were to order it today. As soon as they open up orders for the standard range all-wheel drive Model Y out of Giga Austin, there's not a long line of people with orders already in, so you're not fighting for the thousands of people that already have orders in. So you could get this car rather quickly, which is a good thing. You're also going to get the newest tech in batteries, and you're also going to get an all-wheel drive version of a slightly less mileage in range. So 280, 279 miles of range versus 330. So something to really consider. Now, again, you're only going to save $3,000, but you will get out of the brand new plant, which should have better paint, it should have hopefully better assembly, and those 4680 battery cells. Now with all of that, the real question becomes, what are the future models that are going to be made at Giga Austin? Of course, we've seen these cars piling up in the outside as they continue to produce these, and it turns out they were making these for employee orders. At some point in the last couple of weeks, they must have started notifying employees of their opportunity to buy these cars. So some people did get the opportunity to take delivery at the Cyber Rodeo. That just happened last week. So employees are currently taking delivery, and I don't know how many orders are out there, but all of you will have the opportunity to order as well very soon. Now, if it wasn't $60,000, I would definitely be ordering this car, and I would be doing it with the intent to replace our standard range Model 3. I paid about $43,000 for that standard range Model 3 with the options that I added, so I am not looking to upgrade it to a $60,000 car. Of course, these prices are not likely to go down anytime soon, which of course is bad news, but as we go throughout this year, let's just hope that we don't have the same type of price increases that we did last year. Of course, we've had a few already this year, so we'll keep an eye on those, and hopefully as orders start to come in like a mad rush, hopefully the standard range all-wheel drive Model Y will be able to be had in a number of weeks rather than in a number of months. So if you've been waiting and you've anxiously wanted specifically the Giga Austin Model Y, your chance is coming very soon to get that. So with that update, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bearded Tesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.